This is the best Minecraft movie I've ever seen. My girlfriend and I clicked on it thinking we'd watch like 5 minutes, but 2.5 hours later, we were genuinely tearing up about the storyline. I think it's pretty amazing that a Minecraft video with the runtime of a movie kept me as engaged, if not more so, than some of the biggest releases from Hollywood this year. So I sat down with Ish, the creator of this masterpiece, to pick his brain about how something like this even gets made. So my girlfriend and I, we've watched Superman. Last night we watched Fantastic Four. And I'm gonna put your movie like between the two. I think.
Which one's number one? I gotta know.
I think it's tough between yours and Superman, but I would say that both were better than Fantastic Four. I think Fantastic Four was a little bit boring.
I see.
Dude, and literally after the movie last night, I turned to my girlfriend and I was like, dude, I think I was more engaged by Ish's video than I was by Fantastic Four. Like, that's not a good sign.
They had a bit larger of a budget, I imagine.
No, not to dunk on Hollywood. It was a good movie, but it is like amazing to me that a Minecraft video can be that engaging. So like the first thing I wanted to ask you about is the intro on it. But go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. I think part of the things that like make these, at least my videos, like I think naturally engaging, not to like, what's, as the kids say, self-glaze, but it's like, basically this actually happened. Like this stuff mostly most of the footage that you see, most of the audio that you hear, but like the story itself especially is things that like legitimately happened in a Minecraft event. The story wasn't pre-written, the story wasn't determined by me or any higher source. It was all done by the players. So yeah, that's, at least in my opinion, what naturally makes this more engaging, because you don't know what's going to happen. You know that there's not one person in the sky directing, like keeping this one person safe. Like Saps, who I consider to be the main character of the video, he should have died at least 5 times throughout that, but somehow he kept moving and like he kept overcoming whatever the heck was thrown at him.
Absolutely. When he escaped the trial, like that was genuinely like a white-knuckle on the edge of the chair moment for my girlfriend and I. So yeah, like the first thing I wanted to ask you about is the intro, because that's what really hooked me and like took me from, okay, I'm just curious about this video, to like, oh no, I'm sitting here for the whole thing. And like, as a creator myself, I get this like crazy anxiety when my intros go over like the 30-second mark. And I noticed your intro was like over a minute. I want to say it was like 1 minute and 15 seconds or so, but it kept me so locked in. It's honestly one of the best video intros I've ever seen. And I can't quite like articulate why it feels so good for the video, like, because I have this rule in my head as a YouTuber, like, okay, wrap up the intro, the video's got to start, you got to like put the viewer right into the action, right? Why do you think like a bit of a longer preamble worked for something like this?
I think the concept itself is part of it. Like, people have to understand, like, this 1,000 people, and then if you die once, you're dead forever. Unlike regular Minecrafters, when you die, you can respawn as many times. And then, honestly, I was the same as you when I first started making these videos. Like, typically, Speed Silver is a friend of mine. His videos get people hooked right away. He has like a 20-second intro or something, and then right away he gets into the action. He's typically being chased by 3 different guys and getting away. But yeah, my videos, they definitely, the intro, I don't know if I can articulate into words like why it works, other than just like, maybe it's less YouTube-y and more like a movie, but like explain the concept first, and then you get into like the introduction, which isn't as captivating or like intense, but I feel like if I can explain the concept well enough, it'll keep people watching until some intensity starts to happen. That's kind of the bet that I make with that intro. Right. And just hope and pray that the concept will carry people through at least the first intense part. Because I'll go on with the video doesn't get intense really until like day 5 or day 4, day 5. So yeah, I gotta keep people engaged for a very long time. And
there's a lot of setup that has to be done for a video like that. And I think like part of it might be just like the scale of it, right? Like it's almost like how Mr. Beast does like huge amounts of money or huge amounts of like you know, he'll use a scale in his videos that other people can't really match. And
yeah, right.
I think that's somewhat true for you too. Like there's not like $1 million cash prize, but you know, like I personally, as someone who knows a little bit about hosting servers, I'm astounded that you managed to run that server. There's some sort of black magic going on in the back end. And I'm sure you had some issues with lag and stuff that had to be addressed along the way. I'm also curious about some of the back end stuff as well. But just to wrap up the conversation on the intro, I think like that scale is just not something a lot of people can do. So that is partly why I think it works, is just because like, how do you even get 1,000 people on a server? I think people forget that like when Fortnite came out, just having 100 people in the same game, that battle royale concept was so incredible at the time, because like, you know, I used to do big team battle in Halo. It was like 8 versus 8, and that was like mind blowing for 2012. You know what I'm saying? For 2007 or whatever it was. And now we're able to host 1,000 people on the same server at once. I just say that that's like a barrier of entry, which also I guess makes my videos naturally like people want to watch because it can't be done easily. I guess there's two big things: getting the technology to actually have all 1,000 people on the same server, and then also just having 1,000 people who are willing to participate and go along with the concept. That's actually a great segue, because I'm so curious on what the application process actually looks like. I noticed in the credits, like you had so many people who were literally just going through applications for you. So like, what sort of questions are you asking, and how are you finding people who you think is a good fit for something like this?
Yeah, people who watch this video are maybe will have a bit of a insight into how to get into my events, if that's something you want to do. We're trying to find people who will go along with the concept of civilization, who are willing to do a little role play, because obviously Minecraft, it's very difficult to simulate actual real life experience in a video game,
right?
Especially one like Minecraft, which is doesn't have too realistic of graphics and doesn't simulate real life too well. But we're trying to find people who are most willing to show in their answers I'm willing to simulate civilizations. I don't want to just go around randomly killing people. I want to, for example, open a restaurant, or I want to start a civilization in the jungle and build a treehouse. Just people who we think would be a good fit for civilization roleplay. So the types of questions that we ask are typically around that, trying to gauge answers and gauge people's general attitudes about what they want to do in the event. We accept also both video and written applications. Video applications are very, very useful to we feel like we can get more authentic responses with that. So it's a very, very lengthy process. There's 3 stages, and we have a lot of very dedicated people on the applications team who, like, when it's time to grade, applicate, whatever you want to call it, accept people into the events, I mean, they are there for hours at a time, just going through application by application. They have patience unmatched by any other team.
No, seriously. So you find 1,000 people who are willing to participate and like somewhat willing to suspend disbelief and kind of role play a little bit. But then when the actual event happens, I mean, I'm sure you get 1 or 2 people who are like, oh, let me make a sky base, and that's not really gonna fit into the vibe of the video, right? So are you then moderating those 1,000 people on top, like after that initial application process? Once the event actually starts, I'm sure there's upkeep.
Yes. Yeah, we have a whole event staff team, and we also release rules and guidelines. And most of our rules are things like don't randomly kill people, don't do things that are typically unrealistic, like building a sky base. We were willing to suspend that rule a little bit for those who watched the video, the Infernace floating castle, just because it was so cool. But we try to kind of be hands off for the most part, except for when it comes to things like realism. And for example, whenever someone wants to do like a major assassination of a leader, we actually typically require that person to submit a ticket beforehand.
Interesting.
we get a lot of people submitting tickets to assassinate people, but most of them are actually for not good reasons at all, for reasons that we gauge to be, they just wanted to be in the video.
Right.
They just wanted, there's no real good reason to do this. So people, for the most part, do respect that rule, and that we try to allow as many as possible, as long as it makes sense.
Gotcha. So, that makes so much sense to me, because a huge question I had while watching is like, okay, Flux is such a great villain in the movie, right? But if someone has the opportunity to basically become a main character by doing those sorts of things, like, everybody's gonna want to do that, right? And you can't. I'm
actually so worried that there's gonna be like 20 different Fluxes in the next
in the next one. Exactly.
Oh,
so I guess like the question I had is like, how or where do you draw the line between someone being a good villain that is going to drive the story forward versus someone literally just being toxic and sort of ruining everybody's time? Like, and were there discussions with you and Flux between what constituted, good plot versus just being a dick, so to speak?
Yeah. I actually personally never talked to Flux, except for like the in-game interviews we did. But I mainly let event staff handle, what I let them determine what is good reasoning for assassinations, or at least good enough reasoning.
Right.
Sometimes, honestly, the lines can be a little blurred. Sometimes it can be a little subjective. Like, for example, someone could maybe have a good reason to kill someone, but they're just not able to express that well enough, or whatever. Like, it's obviously it's going to be a little subjective. But yeah, we just overall, my mindset is just whatever the players do, try to go along with it as much as possible. Try to make it work. Let them tell the story, and let me. If something janky happens during the events, try to go along with it anyway, and just, if needed, do some like YouTube magic afterward to make it work with the narrative.
Yeah, so you're almost, you almost must think of yourself as more of a documentarian than a director at that point, right? Because you're sort of so hands-off that you're even letting your event staff do most of the moderating decisions on your behalf. So you're basically literally just there to capture what's happening, weave it into a watchable story, but not so much there to nudge people in certain directions. Is that right?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, I would agree.
So, you must just have like an insane amount of trust with your staff team. Like, how do you build up a big team like that and maintain so much trust in their ability to moderate?
I don't know, but they're just good at what they do.
So how long have you been doing this?
I'm very, very fortunate. These guys have been doing a fantastic job We've done many big events, and all of us have learned something, multiple things from each event as well. I feel like each event we do, we get a little bit better, not just setting up rules, guidelines, but the actual execution of each event. So I don't know. It's just, I found a group of people that I could trust, and we've all learned together, and I feel like now we're pretty good at hosting events and making videos out of them.
No, it shows. How big is the team at this point?
Oh gosh, we have depends administration. We have like 5 to 7, and then each of them leads their own team. We have an event staff team, we have a community team, we have applications team, we have a moderation team for the Discord server.
Okay, got it. That's actually a fascinating hierarchy. Because this stuff is just so interesting to me, because like I've run events in real life, and logistically it's a nightmare, getting everybody on the same page. But I think that's really interesting. You've got each admin leading their own team so that they can focus on just their one thing. And then are all the admins having, meetings to just make sure you're all on the same page, basically?
Yes, 100%.
Really cool, man. So, another question I had for you is just like, how do you decide, because if you're letting the players basically drive the story, there must be just hours and hours of amazing content, like insane little storylines. Even something like just like the Conquistadors came out of nowhere and was like just such a random little cult. So I wonder, like, how do you decide what makes the cut and what gets left on the, you know what I mean? Like, because there's got to be so many hidden gems that you have to just cut from the video because they don't fit into the grander story.
Yeah. Part of the privilege of having 1,000 players is you kind of get to go around and see what happens and then choose out of 1,000 people, it's just bound to happen that at least a few will have just an amazing story that you can end up telling just because of the sheer mass of people. So like at least a few will have an awesome story. So yeah, I just let the event happen, and then afterward I see, okay, which players or nations had the coolest stories. So in this event, it was obviously the Saps versus Flux arc.
Yeah.
And then there's a few other side narratives that I focused on, like Spood versus the Commonwealth, and then there was also
King
obviously
Arcturus
the whole exactly
Knight Arcturus. I'm sorry, yeah.
Yes. And then there was the volcano arc, of course, with Seneca versus Lingulini. So
oh my god, one of my favorite parts of the whole movie was it Sidefall, the news, the hysterical journalist who renamed the warden. Oh my god, I don't want to spoil it in case like people listening haven't seen the video, but you'll know the moment I'm talking about if you watch the movie. And it's like it's genuinely hilarious. I was losing my mind, dude. Yeah. So, well, you spoke to like, how long this takes to put together. I think on Twitter you might have even said it took you like multiple years to make this video.
Yeah, a little under 2 years for this one.
Yeah. So I'm wondering like how much of that is just the prep, like, because obviously you have to build the map, get the server ready, do the applications. Yep. Is that like a full year-long process there, or like what does that look like?
So most of I won't say most, but first I had to, because this is the first video that I worked with multiple editors for, so I had to switch from Vegas to Premiere, because everyone uses Premiere, I guess.
Oh my god, you were still on Vegas, you madman.
I had to learn everything for Premiere, and man, that took a little bit, and then I had to train up a few editors. I introduced editors to the team, and that took a little bit as well. So yeah, it was right now I feel like I'm in a really good spot. We have an awesome editing team and a production team, so I feel like if I were to make the same video again today, it'd be a good amount faster, maybe even 2 times, although that a few months for 2.5 hours does seem like a bit much. But so we had to do that at first, and then we finally got into the writing a script day by day. I typically do these chronologically, so I work on day 1 and then send over to editors, and then I script day 2, put it together, and then send it to editors. So yeah, it was a good amount of work with scripting and editing, and then there was like a whole 2 to 3 month review process, which I think was probably too long, but personally I'm really happy with how the video came out, so maybe if that's what it requires, then that's what it requires.
Hey man, I think it's doing really well, and personally I could see a future for this video, like where sort of a similar thing to Parkour Civilization could happen, where it could break out into the Ludwigs and into the mainstream, into the React. YouTube. Yeah, no, I'm serious, because it was so engaging, and there's so many moments that are like, make you want to get up out of your seat and scream, that I could actually see like a React streamer like Ludwig, like actually his audience would eat that stuff up, man. Like they would go crazy for it, because like if those streamers could sit through Parkour Civilization, not to dunk on Evbo, I watched that too and I thought it was awesome, but
it was awesome.
I would say yours is definitely more of like an adult take on the same concept. I think Evbo's is very much in that like young adult anime kind of like genre, whereas like it's clearly scripted, right? Whereas I think what makes your movie so fun is that you can tell it's not entirely scripted, and there's definitely like so much organic stuff happening, and it's just like, okay, how is this nation gonna react to this this event, One thing I did want to ask you is like, is there a certain amount of reenacting that goes on? And then also in terms of that timeline, like there's day 1, day 2, are those like single day recording sessions where everybody's on for like 8 hours? Like how is that working? Because the time was super ambiguous when I was watching, and like if there's newspapers and people making memes and propaganda, I knew there had to be enough time for that stuff to develop in the Discord, right? So are these recording sessions spread out? What does that all look like?
Yeah, so to answer that first, we do about 2 to 3 hours a day of the server just being up. The reason we don't have the server up 24/7 is because it makes it super difficult to have everybody on at the same time, and it would just kind of suck to have your base raided and no one online, or your nation attacked. So yeah, we have the server up for about 2 to 3 hours a day. We can ensure that most people will be online during that session.
And are these like consecutive days? Like you do like a,
yes.
This is Civilization Week, basically.
Yep, basically. And we're thinking of maybe spreading it up for the next event, spreading it out so that it's like we do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then next week we do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just to give people a break. But it's one of those, it's something we're considering. But yeah, all of our events so far have just been, day 1, day 2, day 3 are all consecutive days and until the end of the event.
Gotcha.
And then as for the reenactment, yeah, we do typically whenever like I don't have footage of something happening, because sometimes it's just like, for example, the assassination of Jofiel, spoiler in the event, or whenever there's like particular footage that I missed, which typically happens when there's like few people around, because I also ask people to record their own replay mod. But whenever we're missing footage, or whenever something janky happens, like when Flux jumps from the Castle of Infernace, in the actual event, he didn't land in a lava pool. He like glitched through the ground and like landed in like this weird water structure lava thing, and then he had to dig his way back up. It was like a weird Minecraft glitch that happened there. So we reenacted that to just make him fall into a lava pit and climb back out of it. So yeah, typically things like that. And then there's like a few reenactments that we do, like for example, Spood and Zekwur's meeting on day 9.
So that is actually what tipped me off to like, there are some reenactments happening, because I was pretty sure. And then there was this moment where Spood gets right up in like maybe an inch from someone's face, and he says this super cinematic line, and I went, okay, some of this stuff is being like recreated after the fact. But I'm assuming like, you know, you're just making it slightly more cinematic, or like filling in gaps of footage you missed, but it's probably following a similar structure to how it was originally played out, right?
Yes, yeah, the beginning of that meeting was all real, but the server actually went down. Like, they started that meeting at the very end of the day, so the server actually went down. So we essentially went back and like rewrote a lot of that scene, especially the middle and end, and yeah, we dramatized it a lot, made it super, super cool. So it's most of the video, most of the audio is authentic, but there's a few scenes that I do reshoot for various purposes, and I actually do have a live stream on my second channel where I go over literally everything, everything that's like reenacted. I mentioned that and why we did it.
That's actually so cool. I love the transparency there. Like one question I had: Sap's escape, was that the legit footage? Because it looked real.
Oh, from the trial? Yeah, actually on that live stream, people wanted to see whether or not that was real, so I showed the entire clip unedited of Sap's escape. Yeah, that was all real. What an
incredible... I mean, that was straight out of Manhunt, man. It really...
It was unbelievable.
It really brought me back to the dream Manhunt days of, like, how is he doing that?
Yeah, and I nobody is happier that Saps pulled that off other than Saps than myself.
Yeah, of course.
My goodness, what an absolute amazing moment.
Oh my god, yeah, as the like director, so to speak, I would just be like over the moon happy if I saw that happen in my event, you know.
Yep. And by the only thing that we did change in that scene was actually afterward, when he got into that boat, the people followed him for legit like 30 to 40 minutes, because you can't really catch up to a boat in Minecraft. They all go the same speed, so people were literally following him for I think it was until the rest of the day, until the server went down. But eventually I think he actually did lose a few on the way, but yeah, that escape was definitely a lot shorter in the video than it was in the actual event. But if I were to show that, it would just be 30 minutes of him boating. So yeah, but otherwise, yeah, that escape was unbelievable and somehow real. Yeah,
my girlfriend, she is a Minecraft player, by the way.
Awesome.
But yeah, we get to the final battle and she goes, "Oh, it's a Gapple battle?" And then she's like, "I hope they cut this down." And I was like, I was like, this probably lasted like a good 20 minutes in the actual game.
Actually, it did. It was like 2 to 3 minutes. They finished it pretty quickly.
Wow, that's actually not bad for... I swear to God, sometimes my viewers will be like, "Hey, come on like a PvP server." And then they'll choose some kit with like... three stacks of gapples, and I'm like, dude, I was hoping for like a 5-minute PvP here. But we're gonna be here for half an hour.
You struck gold exactly. Speaking of that, because it's been a debate on the staff team. Do we keep golden apples in the server? Because there's a few items that we have disabled,
right?
Like ender pearls, which are just extremely unrealistic. We've been disabled ender pearls, and obviously other dimensions we disable those.
Right.
Golden apples is one that we've been considering for many events now, and we've never quite bit the bullet on golden apples to remove them, but we're thinking of it because, like, at the same time, golden apples did save many of the main characters' lives as well. So,
yeah, 100%. It's a tough decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of another question I had, is just like in terms of making the maps, because there's these two islands. One of them's rich, one of them's poor. I mean, like, I don't know. Are you like checking to like double check that there's no iron ore anywhere on the poor island? Like, are there little tiny mistakes? Because making a map that big and that detailed, like, I'm just assuming there's got to be some weird little oddities here and there that people might stumble upon. Was that anything you had to deal with during the event?
I don't think there were any like major errors where there was like just one chunk of straight netherite. I don't think there was anything like that. I have trust in our map maker, Window Brick. Shout out to you, my man.
Yeah, I was gonna say huge shout out to the map makers. Then is it one guy?
One guy, and then he has help with certain assets, like for example trees. We use custom trees, so we have a group of builders who also help with that, and then he can just go in and spread those trees out among the map depending on the biome. But
dude, that's pretty incredible. I thought it was a really beautiful terrain.
It looked really good.
I really liked the south archipelago of the rich island, the sort of jungles that Sap was hiding out in for most of the movie. It just had a really great atmosphere, and like anytime someone sort of got like banished from civilized society, they would just like end up like in the mangrove swamp, which was just like such a good visual. I'm trying to remember at the end there was like some other fugitive who got stuck out there for the rest of
probably
time.
Night Arcturus, actually.
I think is who it was.
Refugee.
Yep, that is who it was. But so it's been almost 30 minutes. I don't want to keep you too long, but I do have no problem. I do have one final question, which honestly, when the movie finished, this was the biggest question on my mind, which is just like, how do you top this? Like, where do you go from here? Because I don't know. For me, if I made that, I would be like, this is my magnum opus, time to retire. But obviously, you know, that's probably not your place. So I'm curious to hear, like, is there pressure, like, with trying to top that?
Yeah, you're building it right now. Thanks.
I mean, well, first of all, do you feel like that was your best video? I'll start there.
I'd say yes, because I feel like I say that for every one of my videos, but I do learn a decent amount about production and also replay mod stuff and cinematics generally.
No, I get that 100%. Like, personally, everybody always asks me, "Yo, Mogswamp, what's your favorite build?" And I'm always just like, whatever I last built. Because with each and every build, genuinely, you learn so much in between that then it just feels like you're constantly progressing, and it's like it's hard to not be so proud of the thing you just last made. Dude, real quick, have you ever checked out Flashback Mod?
I have checked it out, and there's a few technical things that would probably not allow us to use it.
Yeah,
I think it's only on the latest versions.
Yeah.
Like 1.21, whereas our events kind of have to be in 1.20 because of the weird janky server stuff that we're doing.
You know, I think he might have finally backported it, at least an older version to 1.20. But I was just curious because there's like a lot of settings in Flashback when it comes to like adjusting the daytime that I was like, man, that would have been so useful for Ish. I'm sure you were having to do it all sorts of janky ways, because like in the video, I'm sure like the day-night cycle is going crazy, right? But you want some continuity between like quote-unquote day and night. Unless did you actually stretch out the day-night cycle for the recording?
We actually kept most of the event at a time set 5,000, which is basically right in the middle of the day.
Gotcha.
And then there, like for example, Sap's trial, I made sure to have the sun go down a little bit and then stopped the time there for the duration of the trial. So there's a few scenes that we actually stopped time on purpose so that it's consistent. But other than that, yeah, it can be a little tricky. And having a feature like that is we may or may not be working on something for replay mod. Actually, I don't know if we'd release it to the public yet, but I'll say it may be possible.
Something to make your life a little easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering about that. Because Flashback I know is such a godsend, but yeah, I was like, they're probably on an older version. I wonder if they even, because I saw the replay mod like recording up in the corner a couple times, and I was like, oh, they are using replay. That's tough. Because not to dunk on replay mod, it's a great mod, but I just think for making something like you made, Flashback's ability to like hide specific entities or change the daytime, I'm like, man, without those features, it would be super hard. But anyways, to go back just to my last question once more before we wrap up. So yeah, how do you top it? Where do you go from here? I'm curious.
Okay, I can't post 2.5 hour long videos anymore. I gotta scale, maybe not scale down the types of events, but like prior to making this video, by the way, I told everybody, guys, my last video, which was like an hour and 15 minutes, like that's the max. I ain't going over. And then it turned out to be twice as long, which, you know.
Got it. So the next ones will be 4 hours. Noted.
Yeah, about 5.5.
Yeah.
No, I'm really hoping to keep it down now because I want my viewers to not be in a drought for years upon years in between each upload. So
yeah, man. No, I feel it too. Like I think the scale of Minecraft YouTube has gotten bigger and bigger over the past couple years, and even with my videos, it feels like they just kept getting longer, and the projects just kept getting bigger and bigger to a point where I'm like, okay, we got to scale this back a little bit. Like, it's just not sustainable after a certain point, you know?
And have you been able to do it?
It's a lot easier said than done, but I think last year I tried and failed. This year, I think I'm trying more successfully. But
so it's possible, you say. There's
but
there's a land out there.
It's funny, even when we scale back the videos themselves, it feels like the production time doesn't scale back with it.
Oh crap, we're screwed.
Yeah, no man, it's an ever constant struggle. But dude, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. I enjoyed it so much. It's probably my favorite Minecraft movie I've ever watched. And after watching it, I just had so many questions on the logistics. I was like, dude, I gotta talk to this guy, especially because we just met in the Carl video. So
of course. Yeah, by the way, Mog, he made it so far. How many builders were there total of that?
I think out of 25, I got top 3.
25, so okay.
I'm pretty proud.
Yeah, actually, that's very, very good.
To be fair, though,
you guys should watch the video, those who haven't seen it. It's.
I think I got super lucky round 2. I'm gonna be real. I think I got real lucky round 2.
Oh, did you?
Well, it was the one with the dirt and the glass, and I think I just had like a very unique angle that not a lot of people did. Yeah. So I think sometimes in those competitions, it's more about like standing out than it is about actually having the technically best build. You know what I'm saying? So like
I see.
There were 3 or 4 builds that were amazing that round, but they were really, really similar. And so like only like 2 of them made it, for example. And like the other 2 that didn't probably should have beat mine, but they were all so similar to each other. I think the judges at a certain point are like, all right, we want some like variety. You know what I mean? So I think I got a little bit lucky there, but it was so fun, man. That was cool.
It was so good. It was so good to meet you in that event. Personally, I haven't explored too much about build, whatever you want to call the genre, just Minecraft build genre. But you are one of the, I imagine, the titans of that genre. So I guess just a quick question. And by the way, totally deserved. The few builds I've seen from you, absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, like, thanks, man.
You do it so well. And like, I want to real quick. Let me just turn this interview around on you real quick. What do you think? Because like, being a good builder seems very very broad. Like, that's obviously not all that it takes to be one of the most well-known builders in Minecraft. So like, I'm curious, like, what do you consider to be your like thing? Like, what makes you special?
I think it all clicked for me when I stopped trying to build straight from my imagination. Like, I grew up, not grew up, but like when I was a teenager and I first got into Minecraft, I watched a lot of Ethos Lab, and that guy kind of just like builds. Like, I don't know, it's like he builds in this style that's like literally just pure Minecraft. Like, it's not based on real life. He just like puts blocks together And that might work for some people, but for years I tried to build like that and it just didn't really work. And then I went off to college. I got my minor in art history, and part of art history was learning architecture history as well. And as soon as I started learning, like, okay, this is like a Corinthian column. This is like a gable.
Oh, yeah.
This is like, you know, like as soon as I started learning the terms and the actual like why architects do the things they do, I could then flip it around and put it back into Minecraft, and that's like when it all clicked. So I think I have like a very,
cool.
I think I have like a very grounded, like a realistic style. I try to build like, I would say like early 1900s, late 1800s, like Victorian sort of style of building, maybe a little bit art deco at times. And yeah, I think that's really where I've flourished, is just taking things and styles and like things I see in real life and then putting them into the game. Because for years I was just trying to build straight from my imagination, and it's like I'm not an architect, you know what I mean? Like I can't just like invent things. And I think that's like my number one build tip for people, really, is just like learn a tiny bit about architecture. You know, it's the same thing as like if you're trying to draw people all day and you know nothing about anatomy, you're gonna have a really hard time with it.
Exactly.
So yeah, if you're trying to like design beautiful buildings and you literally have less than any knowledge about architecture, you're gonna struggle. And that's kind of where I was for a long time. And then yeah, just learning about like little glossary terms, you know, that really helped.
Yeah. We have a few builders on the team. Our lead builder's actually well, it's sort of, I think he's getting an engineering degree. And it feels like engineering, feels like architecture. That is so interesting. That it's all coming together now. It's like, that's why these guys are so good at what they do.
Yeah, man. And I mean, like you probably, you know, as the director, so to speak, like you're probably taking things you see from actual cinema and real movies and like applying them to your work as well. So I think it's like a similar thing, right? Because I'm also doing that as well. When I see something in like a Hollywood movie or a TV show that I like I'll take that and apply it to my Minecraft video. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
If you ever need like a celebrity guest star for your next Civilization video, you know, just let me know. I'd
Yeah. Hey, the last lead builder of one of my videos had an execution order on his head. So if you want to be the next guy like that, you might have a spot.
Yeah, man. I'll join Remy the Rat's kitchen or something. I'll be like dish hand, whatever side character you need, man.
Oh, also, hold on. I want to ask you, you know, as a professional builder, what was your favorite build in the video?
Honestly, I think just the West Helm, like when they built was it West Helm? Yeah, when they built all the aqueducts. It was just like so
the freaking aqueducts.
It was so pointless, but like so world buildy. I was just like, I love whoever spent the time to do this like ridiculously pointless build. Because, you know, everything else, like there's like a courthouse with a function and a coliseum with and you know, like meeting areas, but then there's just these massive aqueducts that serve literally no purpose. That's just like the kind of build I love. I actually thought those were pretty inspiring. I might have to build an aqueduct in my world at some point.
Yes, the pointless aqueducts is the virus is spreading. Fantastic.
I want to speak on behalf of my girlfriend. She was obsessed with the Infernace, the chains holding it up.
Oh yes, yes.
She's a great builder as well. So,
I was glad to hear. Yeah, Infernace, those guys absolutely killed it as villains. They did so well. Builds,
Mamma Mia. Infernace.
Lingulini, poor guy.
Stealing all of our netherite.
I never thought that in my videos, the character that would get the single most tragic and twisted fate would be a Mario impersonator.
Yeah, one of the highlights of the video. And like that is one of the things I love about like a Minecraft Civ video is like you'd never get that in like a Hollywood movie. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like too silly, but
yeah, you get copyright stricken to eternity if you have Mario.
Yeah,
I can get away with that a little bit on YouTube.
Some of the characters were just so good. The Conquistadora is just like mi amigos, por la queso, por la queso. So good, so stupid. All right. Of course. Well, thank you so much, man. This I think people will really like hearing some of the insights on this. And if you made it through this conversation and you haven't watched the video yet, you got to go watch it. I'll link it in the description.
Thank you, Mog. I appreciate that. And yeah, I highly recommend watching my video and then watch all of Mog's videos as well if you want some real quality builds backed by an architecture degree.
Yeah, there you go.
It's good stuff.
All right, thank you, Ish. I appreciate it, man.